Hey guys, Svenzi here. Today I'm going to be doing an Octavia Awakenings tier list. This is completely ordered by tiers. Each tier is ordered left to right, left being the best in the tier, right being the worst in the tier. So we're going to start off with the top, which is required. Castellast, especially with her recent nerf, to only making it 2 seconds, Castellast increases this time drastically, allowing you to actually play the game and keep your speed up consistently. Well, more often consistently, making it the best thing for her. If you don't take Castellast, you're throwing when it shows up. And overall, it kind of reverts the nerf that I gave her last week, so that's why it's the best one for her. Next is Chrono Boost. Does similar to Castellast, extends the duration of it, but it also increases your movement speed. Increases your speed by 75%, and the duration's increased by 35%. Really good trade-offs. They both do exceptionally well, and you get tons of value of them in a game. 3, Twin Drive. Twin Drive is amazing. You have 2 speed boosts. Enough said. That's the whole character's kit. Stacks on stacks. Really great. It's really easy to get 100 stacks on her, especially with her special. You hit a player in the ball with your special, you're already at 100 stacks start round. Like, I'm being honest with you, it's really easy to build stacks. Base speed's really great, and it's speed outside of your speed boost as well. So you have passive speed to actually allow you to maneuver around the map and try to play around things that might hit you easier. But that's all the required tier. Those are the 4 awakenings that you should be taking every game when they show up without any exceptions, if I'm being honest. Right underneath, we're getting Great. Great is still really good awakenings overall, but they don't do as well as the required ones. But they're still things you should be taking if you do see them. Great aerials. Does the same thing as Chrono Boost and increases your speed by 75%, but also makes your projectile shoot further, which is always a great thing, especially since it passes through enemies. So having more range gives you just more bonuses, plus you move faster. Underneath that, we have Super Surge. The harder hitting movement speed, the harder hitting ability doesn't apply to her because you don't hit with your movement, but it's still a 75% speed increase, so that's always really great. Great awakening. If there's nothing else to take, that is definitely should be your go-to. After that, we have Peak Performance. Peak Performance, she already has the lowest stagger in the game. Giving her more stagger is always decent, plus speed on top of that makes it a great choice. Just not as good as the ones above it. It's still a really solid awakening for her, though. After that, we have Prime Time. The only reason why I have Prime Time this high, because I honestly was thinking about putting it in the alright tier, is just because shooting projectiles constantly is always just a good thing, period. But it makes it a little bit easier to have a projectile ready to keep your speed up in case the ball gets hit away from you and you don't have any way of keeping speed. You have a higher chance of having a projectile more often, or just having 2, period. Making it a pretty good one. After that is one that actually is kind of slept on, is Empowered Special, or Specialized Training, whatever it's actually called. This awakening actually makes her special somewhat usable, because base, it has no knockback and it doesn't apply any stuns to anybody, but with Empowered Special it has actually good knockback and the damage makes it actually kind of insane. Still not as great as the ones above it, but it still deserves a great tier for what it does. It makes the worst special on any character in the game just better. After that, we're going into the alright tier. These are awakenings that, I mean, they're okay. You can get value out of them, but overall, you're better off just taking the things above it, and these are kind of like a last resort ones if you can't take any of the ones above it. Extra special. Your special, you have the worst special in the game, but having it up is nice more often. So just so that way you can spam it more, it gets some meter out of people. It's not a horrible choice, but it's okay. Quick Strike. Quick Strike is one I actually want to rate a little bit higher, but it doesn't give her enough benefits to the ones above it, so that's why I have it here. Still a solid awakening. Faster strike time is pretty self-explanatory. It's good on every character. Glass Cannon. You're getting focused out most of the game. This one, you're probably never going to get your speed boost from this ever to even last longer than freaking 10 seconds. Or not even 10 seconds, 5 seconds. So overall, it's an alright one. If there's no other way of you getting speed, it's not awful, but it's still meh at best. You're getting hit most of the match. Hot Shot. This one's not bad, just not great compared to the ones above it. Again, hitting the core harder is a little bit nice and refunding your cooldowns, but you're not getting an insane amount of value out of it most of the time. It's kind of just something there if you really want it. There's nothing really, I don't really have much to say about it. Heavy Impact and Built different. I'm going to talk about the same times. They do the same things pretty much. They're both mid. Nothing of hers counts as an impact besides her special, and we all know her special sucks a lot. So, I mean, if there's nothing else, impact on your special, allowing it to have a little bit of knockback is always alright, but the knockback is nothing compared to Empowered Special. Empowered Special just does more than these two combined, so we're leaving those down at alright. They shouldn't be a priority. Bulk Up, you don't need power on this character. She already hits like a feather. You're trolling tier. If you're taking these, you're honestly just throwing the match. Big Fish, no. You just don't take Big Fish ever. Unless your other forward is being so pinnacly useless and dying every 2 seconds, then you take Big Fish and W key. That is the only time. But even then, you probably still shouldn't be taking it. Just disregard what I said. Just do not even take Big Fish. You're trolling. Missile Propulsion. There's really no point. You shoot your projectile a little faster, but everything else above it you'll get more value out of, guaranteed. You're kind of just trolling if you take it. The only reason you're taking this is to deny it from a Kai or an Estelle, or maybe a Luna. But even then, you're still kind of trolling. Tempo Swing. She already does low damage. She doesn't really get much benefits from this. The healing is nice, but honestly, you're better off with, like, freaking Heavy Impact, if I'm being honest, because at least your multi-hits start refunding your cooldowns. Spark of Agility. You need the other sparks to get this thing to even be decent. It's a flat-out speed boost at the start, which is alright. It's cool, but you're still kind of trolling if you take it, because you need the other sparks for it to be useful. And moving on to those, and the complete ass tier. All of these suck equally as much, because they're either completely unusable, like Monumentalist or Timeless Creator. Deadeye, you're never in range for it, and you'll never get value. Rapid Fire, just take it. There's no point. You get like a not even a full second shaved off your freaking cooldown. There's no point in taking it. Spark of Strength and Resilience and what was this one called? The Glasses one. Spark of Focus. No point in taking them at all. They do not serve you any. They're not good enough to even make it out of the complete ass tier. You just should never be taking them. You should be focusing the Speed Awakenings and the required and great tiers. Everything else below it should be low priority, but in this complete ass tier, just don't even take them. You're not getting value. Ever. And a little thing I forgot to add, because when I was recording this, I forgot this list doesn't have every single awakening on it. The Orb perks. Orb Dancer. Alright tier. It's alright. You're never going to get 10 stacks with her. Just saying that right now, you're never getting 10 stacks. It's alright. It's a last resort pick. Ponder and Replicator are... Sorry. Ponder is your trolling tier. And Replicator's complete ass. Next, we have Reverberation. You're trolling. This one isn't good on her either. You're just trolling if you take Reverberation. Next, Catalyst. Catalyst goes in great tier. Fire Up goes in alright. And Egoist goes in alright.